Hi there, Dylan from Real ID here. I'm just going to show you how you can create a workflow that will not only trigger an ID check based on the overall fraud status, but based on the sub statuses. So here I have a brand new Shopify Flow. You can create a new trigger here, and then you can just search for, or just click into the Shopify admin API, and then searching for the order created trigger is the way to go. So now we could stack conditionals to filter out orders based on specific criteria. You just click here on the right-hand side, select condition, and here we can select conditions that exclude ID checks from, or exclude orders from being ID checked. So on the far right-hand side, we can add a criteria, and here is where it gets, there's a lot of options. It's pretty overwhelming, as you can tell if you scroll right through. But I found it easy to just search for risk, the keyword risk, and then their search still isn't very good. But at least you can see here down near the bottom, there's risk level and risks. So risk level is like the overall low, medium, high at the very top. And then underneath that, there's a list of risks. And they don't really do a great job of documenting these. But the level and the message, these two are going to be what you can listen to. So the level is exactly how the overall risk works. It's low, medium, or high, but they might not always attribute back to the main overall fraud score based on this display one. And you can also track the message. So this is the message you see in the admin area. If there is a elevated risk, or it just tells you that the reason why this is risky is because the shipping address is 180 miles away from the billing address, for example. So you can actually select the message itself, and then you could say contains, I would say this contains or start with, includes mismatch, for example. And then you could say, this would basically only include orders that have one or more fraud risks, like that list of risks that include the keyword mismatch. You would have to add another criteria to say also the fraud risk item is high or medium. So medium or high. And then, yeah, you can see how it's a little bit tedious to set up, but this gives you a little bit more flexibility than saying just the overall status is medium or high. But once you've set these conditions, you could stack multiple of these conditions in a row if you need to. But once you have these configured and all set, then you could say with this then operator, you just add this plus, do an action, and then just select the Real ID app and create an ID check. And you don't need to fill anything out. It automatically uses the order, and that's about it. So that will automatically send ID checks based on the criteria that you define within this section. If you have the automatic ID verification enabled in the app, this will be an addition. If you only want to do through Flow, you can do it this way instead, where you just set your conditions in one workflow, and then it will send ID checks to the customer by email as well as in the order status page. If they open the order status page, it will still present the ID check, just like the automatic version within the app. No difference. So one last note, I did notice when I was reading through the Shopify risk API that they are deprecating this specific way of looking at order risks within the order itself. So they are moving on to a new way starting in probably be around July. So this method might not work exactly going forward after July or so, but we're keeping an eye on it. It's just moving to a new location, a new API. That's all. So I hope this was helpful. Have a good one.